Ladies and gentlemen, sons and daughters of this moment in time, this is not just another speech. This is not a collection of nice words, pretty phrases, or temporary motivation. No, this is a divine appointment. This is a moment carved out of eternity, to shake the dust off your dreams, to rattle the chains off your purpose, and to ignite a fire in your spirit so hot that you'll never go back to the way things were. I came here today not to entertain you, not to impress you, but to wake you up, because I believe deep in my bones that if this doesn't inspire you, nothing will. You've heard words before. You've heard stories, watched videos, read quotes, but none of that has pulled you from the pit of complacency. None of that has shaken you to the core where your destiny cries out to be lived. But today, right here, everything can change. Not because I am great, but because the truth has power, and the truth is you were made for more. You were not born to simply exist. You were born to shake the earth, to love fiercely, to fight for something that lasts. If you can hear that voice inside of you right now, the one that says, "Yes, this is what I've been waiting for," then don't turn this off. Don't walk away, because the next few minutes might just save your life, not your heartbeat, not your breath, but your real life, the one you were meant to live before fear, shame, and distraction stole it from you. So I'm asking you, not just to listen, but to lean in, because if this doesn't inspire you, nothing will. The world today is filled with noise, constant distractions, endless scrolling, empty conversations, and 1,000 voices trying to tell you who you are and what you should be. But in the midst of all that noise, something sacred often gets drowned out. The truth that this life you're living is not a rehearsal. This is it. This moment, this day, this breath, it's real and it's all you have. And yet so many are sleepwalking through their days, numb to the weight of eternity, blind to the urgency of their purpose. They wake up, go through the motions, do what's expected and call it living. But they've never really woken up. They've never really felt the full weight of what it means to be alive, to carry within them something eternal. They don't realize that time is not waiting on them. Time keeps ticking, and while they delay, their destiny does not. You see, life isn't a warm-up. It's the game. Every second counts. Every choice shapes your future. And every moment you delay stepping into your calling is a moment lost forever. The great tragedy isn't that people fail. It's that they never even try. They never rise. They never shake off the dust. They never answer the whisper deep in their soul that says, "You were made for more." They live as if there's always going to be another tomorrow, another chance, another season. But the truth is, you don't know how many more you've got. That's not meant to scare you, it's meant to wake you up. There is something deep inside you that knows this already. It's that ache you feel late at night when the world quiets down and you start to hear your real self. It's that restlessness, that holy discomfort that refuses to let you settle for average. It's not anxiety. It's not confusion. It's your soul crying out, "Wake up, this is not all there is." But we keep pushing that voice down. We drown it in entertainment, bury it under busyness, numb it with routine. We become so good at pretending that we forget who we really are. We forget that we carry eternity in our chest, that this short life is a sacred assignment, that every breath we take is a gift not to be wasted. You were not born for the sidelines. You were not made to spectate your own life. You were born to fight, to build, to rise, to impact, to love with power and purpose. But if you don't wake up now, when will you? If you don't rise now, what are you waiting for? The world doesn't need more passive souls. It needs people who are fully alive, fully awake. People who know that this life is the only shot they get and they're not going to waste it. People who understand that right now is not just another Tuesday or another ordinary day. This is the day. This is the moment. This is the trumpet blast, the shout in the wilderness, the wake-up call to your spirit. You are not made for mediocrity. That might sound bold, even uncomfortable, but deep down, you know it's true. There's something within you that refuses to be content with simply getting by. Something that resists the quiet lie that average is acceptable. You weren't born to live a life of muted dreams and diluted purpose. There is a spark inside you, not given by accident, not placed there by chance. It was put there with intention, with power, with a plan. That spark is not ambition for ambition's sake. It's a sacred fire, a divine imprint that marks you as someone who carries something of eternal worth. You may have spent years trying to silence it, trying to fit into a box someone else built for you, trying to meet expectations that never truly reflected who you are. But the truth cannot be buried forever. Eventually, the real you will demand to rise. What you carry inside isn't meant to sit quietly in the background of your life. It's not some faint talent to be politely admired or some nice idea to consider one day. It's fire, it's purpose, it's potential that can shake nations, change families, ignite movements, and bring healing where there's been only pain. But here's the problem. We live in a world that trains people to play it safe. Stay quiet. Don't dream too big. Be realistic. But being realistic has never changed the world. Playing small has never inspired anyone. You can't light up the darkness if you're too afraid to strike the match. There is greatness in you. Not the kind that chases applause, but the kind that walks with integrity. The kind that serves with humility. The kind that endures storms and still stands strong. You don't need permission to become who you were created to be. You don't need everyone's approval before you start living with passion and purpose. Too many are waiting for a sign, a guarantee, a perfect moment. But you already have everything you need. The spark is there. It may be buried under fear, shame, or years of being told you're not enough. But it's still there. And it's waiting for one thing, for you to believe again. Believe that you are not an accident. Believe that your pain was not wasted. Believe that every scar has a story, and every failure can become fuel. Believe that your life still has time to matter, not tomorrow. Now. This world doesn't need more carbon copies. It needs people who are burning with real purpose, people who know who they are and who they belong to. You are not meant to blend in. You are not meant to settle. You are not meant to simply survive the years. You are meant to live them fully, fiercely, faithfully. The power is already inside you. It always was. The danger of today isn't failure, it's settling. It's the slow drift into comfort that kills more dreams than risk ever did. You see, failure at least requires an attempt. It means you tried, you reached, you stepped out. But settling is silent. It's subtle. It disguises itself as wisdom, as being realistic, as choosing peace. But deep down, it's fear in a suit and tie. It's the fear of disappointment dressed up as maturity. It tells you, stay where it's safe. Don't reach too far. Don't want too much. And so people stop chasing. They stop pressing forward. They stop believing that more is even possible. We live in a culture that glorifies convenience. Everything must be fast, easy, now. We can get food delivered to our door, entertainment in our hand, and opinions fed to us with no effort. And in that environment, the muscle of perseverance begins to atrophy. We forget how to hunger for something. We forget how to labor for a dream. We lose sight of the sacred beauty of struggle, of striving towards something that matters. Instead, we embrace the counterfeit reward of comfort, a numbing, soul-sapping imitation of peace that never satisfies. The most dangerous place to be isn't in crisis. It's in comfort that has made you numb to calling. The worst part? Settling never looks like a disaster. It looks like a good enough job, a decent life, a manageable routine. It looks like staying in the boat while your heart screams to walk on water. It looks like staying small when you were meant to stand up and lead. And the longer you stay there, the more you convince yourself that maybe this is all there is. You start lowering your expectations, you stop praying boldly, you stop hoping radically, and slowly, your fire dims. Not in a burst, but in a quiet fading. And the world won't notice. The world might even applaud you for being responsible. But your soul will know. Deep inside, something sacred will ache. Because it was made for more. Settling doesn't come from a lack of opportunity. It comes from a lack of vision. When you stop looking beyond yourself, beyond what is, into what could be, you stop moving. And that's exactly where the enemy of your purpose wants. You stuck in a comfortable cage with the door wide open, but you were never meant for the cage. You were born to soar. You were crafted by the hands of purpose to run, to build, to carry something eternal. The road may be hard, the climb may be steep, but the view is worth every scar. There is nothing noble about burying your gift beneath the soil of fear. There is nothing wise about letting comfort write your story. Settling is slow surrender. It's the quiet death of what could have been. Every generation is given a choice, to rise or to retreat. And that choice is never made once. It's made every single day, often in silence, often when no one is watching. It happens in the quiet decisions of the heart, when you choose to speak truth or stay silent, to love boldly or play it safe, to take the hard road or the easy way out. The world doesn't suddenly change with one giant act of courage. It changes when individuals like you decide they will no longer live beneath what they were made for. You have been handed this exact moment in time, not by accident, not by chance, but by divine design. And in this hour, you must choose. Look around. The world is desperate, not for more noise, not for more followers, not for more empty success, but for men and women who are anchored, who are alive, who are unshakable in their calling. You don't need a platform to change the world. You need conviction. You need clarity. You need fire. Because you were not placed on this earth to blend into the background of history. You were put here to leave a mark, not for your glory, but for something eternal. This generation needs warriors, not spectators. It needs people who will stand up when others bow, who will speak when others remain silent, who will act when apathy feels easier. But here's the truth most never say. The invitation to rise always comes with a cost. Rising means you'll be misunderstood. It means you'll be uncomfortable. It means you will face resistance from the world, and sometimes even from the people closest to you. But there is a deeper cost to consider. The cost of not rising. The cost of playing it safe. The cost of letting your purpose rot inside of you. That cost is far greater. It's the pain of looking back one day and realizing you were called to something higher, but you chose comfort over courage. That ache will never fully leave you because purpose never truly dies. It just waits, for as long as you're willing to ignore it. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to be willing. Willing to step out. Willing to let go of fear. Willing to trust that if you walk forward, strength will meet you. You might not see the whole path, but you were never meant to. You're only asked to take the next step. The future is not waiting on politicians or celebrities or influencers. It's waiting on you. It's waiting on the teacher who refuses to give up on the broken student, on the father who decides to lead his home with love, on the young person who chooses purpose over popularity, on the leader who chooses principle over popularity. The future is shaped by the quiet courage of the committed. And right now, in this moment, you are being handed that same sacred choice to rise or to retreat. Inspiration isn't a fleeting feeling or a motivational quote you scroll past. Real inspiration, life-changing inspiration, is a fire that can't be quenched. It's not something that just makes you feel good for a moment. It's something that awakens you, unsettles you, moves you. It's not about getting hyped for 5 minutes and then going back to business as usual. It's about something gripping your soul so fiercely that you can never go back to who you were before. And that kind of inspiration only comes from truth. Raw, burning, inconvenient truth that cuts deep and calls you higher. It doesn't flatter you. It confronts you. It doesn't entertain you. It demands something from you. We've grown used to shallow echoes of inspiration. Social media slogans, well-edited videos, surface-level encouragement. But that's not the kind of fire that changes lives. That's cotton candy for the soul. Sweet for a second, but gone with the wind. What we need is a word that pierces, that shakes the dust off dead dreams, that throws open the windows in the rooms we've locked up out of fear. We need to feel again, to remember what it's like to be stirred, not by hype but by holy urgency. Because when truth gets inside of you, it doesn't just sit there, it ignites something. It begins to burn away lies, excuses, and everything that's kept you stuck. There are things in you right now that are waiting to be set on fire. Dreams you buried, callings you delayed, parts of yourself you've neglected for too long. And this message, this moment, is not a coincidence. You're not hearing this by accident. There is a reason something inside of you is leaning in, paying attention, feeling that stirring. It's because your spirit knows this isn't just another message, it's a moment where something could shift, a moment where the direction of your life could pivot. All it takes is for that one spark to land in the right place and catch flame. And when it does, it won't be containable. That's the thing about real inspiration. It doesn't let you go back to who you were. It doesn't leave you satisfied with playing small. It pushes you to tear down the walls of comfort and step into risk, into calling, into obedience. The fire doesn't ask for your convenience, it demands your surrender. And yet, in giving yourself to that fire, you don't lose yourself, you find who you really are. You find the part of you that was born for more, that refuses to settle, that remembers why you're alive. That's why you can't brush this off. Because if this doesn't light something inside of you, if this truth doesn't disturb the comfort you've mistaken for peace, then nothing will. If you've ever had that quiet ache inside, the one that shows up in the still moments, the spaces between all the noise, that subtle tug that whispers, there has to be more than this, then this is for you. That ache is not weakness. It's not confusion. It's the voice of your soul trying to break through. It's your purpose, your calling, your destiny trying to wake you up from the dream of safety and comfort. Because you weren't made to live half asleep. You weren't created to drift. You were meant to live fully awake. Eyes open, heart burning, spirit alive. And yet so many walk through their days numb. They're breathing, but not alive. Busy, but not fulfilled. Surrounded by people, but still hollow inside. That emptiness isn't a flaw. It's a signal, a divine alarm bell telling you that you're settling for less than you were made for. You've been told to be content, to not ask for too much, to play it safe. You've been fed this lie that wanting more is selfish, that dreaming big is childish, that being fully alive is for other people. But what if that ache is the very thing that proves you were made for something higher? What if it's not a problem to fix, but a call to answer? Deep down, you already know the truth. You know that you're not here by accident. You know that time is passing and you can't keep pushing your purpose to tomorrow. You know that what's burning inside of you is not going away. And you're tired of pretending otherwise. You don't need more distractions. You don't need more noise. You don't need another excuse to delay. What you need is permission to step into what's always been calling you. Not the small version of your life, not the safe plan you settled for, but the life that makes you come alive. The life where you take the risk, where you tell the truth, where you stop hiding, where you choose boldness over fear. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to wake up. To stop living as though your best days are behind you. They're not. They're ahead of you. But only if you're willing to answer the call that's been following you for years. This is your moment. Not because it's dramatic, not because there's music playing or lights flashing, but because something inside of you is finally listening. Finally saying, I've had enough of the numbness. I want to live awake. And that hunger, that quiet desperation for more, is not weakness. It's the beginning of transformation. It's the seed of purpose cracking open. And once it starts, there's no going back, no settling, no sleeping, no pretending. You've tasted the truth now, and it's too real to ignore. You were made to live wide awake, to feel, to risk, to rise, to burn. So now the moment stands before you, not as a distant hope, not as a nice idea, but as a decision, not tomorrow, now. You've heard the call, you've felt the fire, you've been reminded of who you really are and what you were made for. And this isn't just inspiration, it's an awakening. It's a holy confrontation with the truth that life is not waiting, purpose is not passive, and the time to rise is now. Not when you feel ready, not when everything lines up, but now. Because if this doesn't move you, what will? If this doesn't shake you out of the comfort that's been killing your calling, what will? If this moment doesn't become the spark that ignites your purpose, what are you still waiting for? This world doesn't need more people hiding in fear, shrinking in doubt, or drowning in apathy. It needs you, fully awake, fully alive, walking in the fire of who you were born to be. There's a reason this message found you today. There's a reason your heart beat faster, your spirit stirred, your soul leaned in. Because it's time. Time to step out of the shadows. Time to silence the lies. Time to stop running from what's inside of you. The world needs your voice, your courage, your obedience, your love. Don't you dare die with your song still in you. Don't you dare settle for a half-lived life. You were made for more. And now you know it. You've seen it. You've felt it. And you can never go back. So walk out of this moment different. Not with a feeling, but with a decision. A decision to never again live beneath your calling. A decision to show up, speak up, rise up, because if this doesn't inspire you, nothing will.